So I asked the question on IG, have you ever made a decision that other people thought wasn't normal? And most of you say yes. So, welcome to the podcast where we help you do your daily best. I'm your host, Tom Danger. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, and share. And I have a small announcement, or a big announcement to make for those of you who have been with us on the journey from episode 1 to episode 171. So if you've made it through 171 episodes, round of applause, you have graduated, right? You have graduated because there is a shift in your change. There's a shift in your way of thinking. You have basically reprogrammed your mind. You have pretty much taught yourself how to define what your purpose is. You've taught yourself how to remain motivated. You've taught yourself how to be self-inspired. You've taught yourself how to remain confident in those difficult situations. You've taught yourself how to handle anxiety. You've taught yourself how to handle difficult situations. You've taught yourself how to have difficult conversations with family members. You've taught yourself how to believe in yourself and take a chance. And here we are today. So thank you for coming along on this journey, and congratulations to you for making a commitment over the past 3 years. My daughter asked me a question this morning, and she said, "Dad," she said, "you're a rap artist, but why did you pick the job that you had?" And this is one of those moments where you can't bullshit a child because they know. And I had to look at her and honestly say, because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And the not doing what I was supposed to do is basically fulfilling the dream. Sometimes you will allow yourself to get stuck in the norm. You get stuck in what other people consider to be normal, which is why I asked the question in the beginning, have you ever made a decision? You've also learned what to do in preparation for transitioning from one career to another career, or in preparation of turning your side hustle into a full-time, full-blown business, as well as taking the seed of a thought and developing it into a full idea, because we've also talked about visions and such. But I couldn't BS her. And I had to think back to when I recently started this past journey that I was on and why I did it. And just like many of you, we go to work because we have to provide. You have to take care of your family. But at the same time, have you ever really pushed yourself to figure out how to monetize your passions? And a lot of time, you don't. And that's what considers it, or that is what many would consider as a hobby, because you just do it because you like it. But at what point do you say, like, this is what I really want to contribute to the world, and ask for a nice dollar amount for it? Sometimes when you do certain things, you may think that there's only one way to skin a cat. And what does that mean? Well, if you're an artist, the only way you're really going to get paid is if you do, and I'm just saying this to Grace, don't worry about the light and dark. That's totally fine. We're not on that, right? There's so many ways to get paid that sometimes you are blinded by tradition. You got to get a record deal. You got to sell a whole bunch of streams. You got to do live shows. There's so many opportunities right now that are just more than ever and in abundance, And I'm happy to say that, at some point we're going to transition the name of the show from Motivation and Confidence to the Tommy Danger Brown Show, because, for one, motivation and confidence is a overly used and abused word, right? Everyone feels as if they're a motivator and they can make people feel confident, and it's sort of like a cliche, right? So we don't really want to rock with that. We want to be known as the brand. You talk with Tommy, you kicking it with Tommy when you tune in. So that's one thing. But in the second half of this journey, we're going to show you what it is to take it from what was once considered as a hobby and all the elements that go along with it and how we're going to monetize it. So you're going to be front row seat. You're going to see songwriting tips. You're going to see examples of branding, examples of marketing. You're going to see networking skills. You're going to see how to build a team. We're going to put everything right in front of your eyes so that you can really see that this is something that's possible. Excuse me. And more than anything, the part that I'm most proud of is that there is no age limit. So this isn't something to say like, oh, because you have to be at this age or you have to be at this stage. No matter where you are in your artistic journey or in your creative journey, you're going to learn something that you can implement to help your idea come to life or come to fruition. So back to the point of not being within the norm. So when I recently resigned from my day job, I don't even like calling it resign. What I really call it is I want to say retirement, but what I really want to say is taking a pause. And I call it taking a pause because it's literally it's transitioning from what's known as normal into creating a new life. And what does that new life look like? When I announce it to most of the people that I work with, most of them say like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right? Everything's totally fine. I am totally clear in my decision and what it is that I want to do." But the reason that one of my good friends had taught me about not really saying that you're resigning is because even in your current role, there could be a future customer. There could be a future client. So you don't necessarily want to close the door on potential business. What you want to do is continue to build those relationships, because those relationships can help you as you move further in your artistic journey. Now, you're going to have people that are going to try and talk you out of whatever it is that you want to do. Don't listen to them. Listen to your inner voice. Now, I am not telling anyone by any means to not provide for your family. Before you take such a leap, make sure you have your business in order. Make sure, one, you are of sound mind. Like you're not just making an emotional decision. Do not make an emotional decision. Don't make the decision like, oh, I got to get the vaccine, forget that, I'm out, and then you're not providing for your family. If you're choosing not to get the vaccine, that's one thing. But what I'm saying is, don't make a decision that is just so rushed that you're not thinking about how you're going to sustain at least for the next 365 days, right? And my recommendation is that minimally, because now you're giving yourself a runway to, one, you have to transition and unlearn what you've been used to. Because if you're used to getting up every day and hitting the grind and going through it and doing the same thing over and over, it's going to take you at least 3 months to get out of that, right? And then from once you unlearn that, now you have to create the new structure for what it is that you want to do. Then once you create the new structure, now you got to put your ideas into a think tank or a lab. And from the think tank to the lab, then you're going to move it into production. So there's a phase or framework that you have to go through before you actually reach that point of just saying, all right, this is going to be up and running and moving, all right? But I just wanted to share that with you guys. For those of you who are brave enough to take the leap, I don't even want to call it a leap. For those of you who are considering taking more control over your life, salute to you. And as always, if you have some comments or people that you like featured on the show, you can hit us up at tomdanger.com. That's TOMDANGER.com. Hit the contact form or follow me on social media. Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best.